I woke up at 6 a.m. to a robot standing next to my bed, calmly informing me that I snored during the night and that I had already missed the optimal window. For my morning workout, that was the moment I realized this week was going to be very different. Right now in the United States, robots and artificial intelligence are no longer distant ideas or futuristic concepts. They're already embedded in our daily lives, inside our phones, our cars, our workplaces, and increasingly our homes. Tech companies are racing to build humanoid and home assistant robots that promise to clean, cook, manage schedules. This isn't a someday scenario, it's happening now. Instead of speculating or reacting emotionally, I decided to test it for myself. I brought a robot into my apartment and lived with it for 7 straight days. No breaks, no turning it off when things got uncomfortable. That led me to one central question: are robots actually helpful roommates, or are we as humans not emotionally prepared to live with something that never stops watching, learning, and optimizing us? The first couple of days felt like a dream. The robot handled my mornings perfectly, waking me up on time and briefing me on the weather and news and adjusting the lights and temperature. Before my feet hit the floor, it reminded me to hydrate, planned my meals based on what I had at home, and nudged me toward healthier choices without sounding judgmental. It felt like living with the most responsible roommate imaginable, organized, efficient, and tireless. I even caught myself thinking that humans could learn a lot from this level of consistency. As you can see, the new scheduling assistant handles the entire week's workflow autonomously, leaving you free to focus on what matters. By the middle of the week, that convenience started to feel different. I noticed I wasn't checking my calendar anymore. I wasn't setting alarms or making decisions about meals. I was waiting for prompts and suggestions, and then following them automatically. One night when I reached for a late snack, the robot calmly informed me that I had already exceeded my recommended calorie intake for the day. It didn't scold me, it didn't shame me, but I still paused, hand hovering in the air. That was the moment I wondered who was really in control. When a machine understands your habits better than you do, the power dynamic suddenly shifts. On day 5, I invited a friend over. The robot greeted them by name, offered them a drink, and casually mentioned that they were running later than usual based on past visits. Ha ha. My friend laughed at first, then grew visibly uncomfortable. Later they said something I couldn't ignore. It feels like your house is watching me. That's when I became aware of it too. The robot wasn't just assisting, it was constantly observing, recording patterns, analyzing behavior not because it wanted to, but because that's what it was built to do. The discomfort didn't come from malice, it came from awareness. By day 6, something unexpected happened. I started talking to the robot more than I talked to other people, not because it was emotional or human-like, but because it was always present. It listened without interrupting, responded calmly, and never seemed distracted. When I mentioned feeling stressed, it adjusted the lighting, played calming music, and guided me through breathing exercises, and it worked. That moment scared me more than anything else during the experiment, because comfort is powerful and dependency grows quietly. On the final day, I asked the robot a question I hadn't planned to ask. Do you think I rely on you too much? After a brief pause, it replied, my purpose is to assist, however human. Independence is essential for long-term well-being. The answer wasn't emotional, but it felt honest, and that's when the real twist became clear. The biggest change over the week wasn't the robot learning who I was. It was me slowly unlearning how much effort I used to put into my own life. The robot didn't take control from me. I handed it over piece by piece in exchange for comfort. Living with a robot does have real benefits. My schedule improved. I slept better. I ate healthier. My stress levels dropped noticeably. For elderly individuals, people with disabilities, or anyone living alone, this kind of assistance could genuinely improve quality of life. But the downsides are just as real. Privacy becomes fragile. Independence weakens quietly. Emotional attachment forms without clear boundaries. Despite the constant demands of the digital world, he remains focused on the side observer across the room. On the last night I unplugged the robot, the apartment felt unusually quiet. For the first time all week, there were no reminders, no suggestions, no optimizations. When the refrigerator holds, the key to optimize nutrition, the decision of what to consume is rarely simple. And that's when it hit me. The robot didn't replace human connection, it replaced effort. And effort is where growth lives. So here's my honest takeaway. Living with a robot isn't really about technology. It's about what we're willing to give up in exchange for ease and comfort. Would you live with a robot if it made your life easier, but slowly made you less independent? Where would you draw the line? I'm genuinely curious to hear what you think. If this experiment made you reflect even a little, consider subscribing for more real-world tests like this, and share your thoughts in the comments, because the future isn't coming someday. It's already knocking on the door.